I'm good.
At last, we've done it.
Indeed, yeah. Ryan's on his way. He's going to be a couple of minutes, so we can
Oh,
just talk
cool.
shit for a couple of minutes.
That's awesome. That's awesome because I thought I was going to have to explain the picture that's going to go out with the episode of being three of
Oh,
us, and there's only two of us on the interview.
yeah, he just texted me. He's at the Leeds bus station now, so he's coming down.
Cool, cool. Well, look, we may as well start without him, obviously.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah.
First of all, how was the show?
Oh, it was awesome. Really
Yeah,
cool. I think it was like pretty much sold out. Um, it was like a super cool lineup that we kind of handpicked ourselves. It was awesome to like play with some old friends and then
yeah,
new friends and then like Mithras. So yeah, and there was basically a pit non-stop. Every time I looked up, they were just raging, which was really cool. Yeah, yeah, it was
awesome,
total chaos.
awesome, awesome. Um, So I will have explained like us, bumping into each other and all the rest of it and failing to totally down to me to get the previous two interviews done. Um let's talk about the album. Because it's I mean, first of all, I absolutely love and it's funny for me because I remember the first time I ever heard of you was when you supported us way back in like 2017 or something like that.
Yeah,
And we
down in Manchester,
hilariously
right?
we hilariously dubbed you prior to the gig, cryptic shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we watched you and Pete was like, they're really fucking good, you know. I was like, yeah, yeah, I get it. I get it. And you were all top lads as well, and obviously from Leeds
Oh,
or
thanks.
thereabouts, which makes all the difference as far as I'm concerned.
Indeed,
Um,
yeah.
and now you've got an album out, which this is my favorite kind of fact about the album, that it's an hour and 21 minutes long and it's five songs. It's just
That's exciting.
absolute, yeah, absolute
Yeah.
class, absolute class. It's called Overspace Supertime, which obviously I'll have done some heavy plugging on. Um, I mean, I want to get the kind of the general album stuff out of the way to start with. Um, like when did you kind of start pulling songs together for this? Because it feels like, this has been in the works for some time.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff's been in my brain for so many years, and it's just been sat ready to go on the starting line. Like in basically when we like started getting serious about the band around like 2016, 15 era, we were writing like early kind of songs that were like a kind of like a test bed for this stuff, and then we went on to do the Visitations from Enceladus, the debut album first. But all of like the structural ideas, the like narrative ideas and song titles, um, and maybe like 40% of the riffs for Overspace to Supertime were kind of written during the same time as Visitations. So, but because we went ahead with Visitations and like left some of the stuff on the side, that was like waiting until around 2021 when we like really kickstarted the Overspace like writing sessions. Basically, just straight away as soon as Metal Blade got in touch with us, and we were like, yeah, let's go for the next big album and bring back the all them ideas that were like meant to go together with Visitation. So
Yeah.
it's really satisfying to like work on them original ideas and know that they came from um our mindset that we were in like basically bang on like 10 years ago, that had that like youthful enthusiasm and like vigor to do all the things that we did on Visitations.
So to a certain, is there any part of you that kind of feels like, given it's the first album for Metal Blade and that story that you've just told, does this feel like a second debut album?
Yeah, in a way, it definitely can do. Yeah, I know. Sometimes that's like the way it goes with some bands, isn't it? The like a debut album on like a smaller like underground label, and then the next one's a jump up. So, um, I definitely don't discount Visitations because I think especially from when we did. the Cosmic Dreams single in 2017, from that moment onward, we've all just really been like, yeah, everything we put out, it's got to be super high quality. We believe in everything.
Yeah.
And like I said, some of the stuff that was on the Beyond the Celestial Realms EP, that was like some of the first songs that we like ever written, like as a person. So there's
Wow.
definitely like some amateurness, youthfulness in that. But yeah, from that Cosmic Dreams, I think I'll stand behind everything, forever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and very wise as well, because there'll be plenty of people who, who love that debut album. It always
Yeah, I
bugs
agree.
me when a band shits on an album of theirs that I like. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? You feel like you've been fucked over.
yeah. It's the. I mean, give it a few years when we're on album six or something. I mean, I'm sure as everyone hears, oh, your first album was the best. So
Yeah, 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 yeah. You'll get all of that, and there'll be others that are like, oh yeah, as soon as they sold out to Metal Blade, it all changed.
oh yeah. No, I
Um,
think we've doubled down on Overspace and Supertime. It's like everything Visitations was, but times 10.
yeah, yeah, and it does that. Do you think you'd have gone that route anyway, or was there a little bit of a kind of added confidence that a label like Metal Blade was backing you? Does that give you a kind of an air of, do you know what? Like
Yeah,
we
I
can
think we
really
would have
fucking go
done it
for it.
anyway, because like I said, a lot of them ideas and songs were already kind of planned out. But the Metal Blade thing, I think, um, just made us work harder at it, pushing the quality level and going really hard on all the performances and the rehearsals and the mix. And
Yeah,
um, yeah, I think it would have turned out pretty much the same, but it's just it definitely give us a feeling of like, yeah, this next album's got to be powerful.
yeah, yeah. And yeah, I guess there's yeah, with you can have a certain amount of confidence from it, or you can get a certain amount of pressure. But as as you said there, it's a case of kind of like rising to the occasion as well. And right, okay, we're on a fucking serious label here. We need to, absolutely deliver, which you absolutely have.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, there
Pleasure.
definitely was a bit of pressure, obviously, but and like we're really grateful and thankful for the label and the fans, given the time it took us to do it. But like I said, we've just got to do it right, and we took the time that it needed, and yeah, we think it came all right.
Yeah, me too. And I remember saying to you, the other Saturday, in fact, 6 days ago, 'cause it seems like weeks ago, um, yeah, it was like kind of like, Vector and Voivod went off and sort of formed a thrash jazz band. There's like so many different influences in there, but uh, I love the fact that it's not, you know, it's not like, oh yeah, let's cover every genre we can think of. It's the same kind of influences coming back and handing over to
Yeah,
each other. There's a real kind of narrative feel to the songs, as opposed to, sometimes you can be listening to progressive stuff. By the way, unfortunately, that's a tag you're kind of going to get. Um, and you can sometimes you can feel like, oh, hang on, somebody in the band went, let's throw a fusion break in here for no fucking reason
yeah,
at all.
yeah. I think this album had the benefit of having the previous album out, and we were like influenced by ourselves by Visitations, knowing that it was going to be a follow up. So that idea was um like I can name like influences bands that we like, but really we were referencing Visitations like a lot, and
Yeah,
you know and when we do have the like stranger like proggier sections, it's like really intentional, and all of the musicality and the structure and like the motifs that like bring in that section or transition out of it are like really meticulous, so that it doesn't give off that abruptness.
yeah,
Like the second track, the long one, Stratocumulus Evergold.
the long one.
We just we
That's
just hit
all of
off
them.
straight away with like some like Mahavishnu Orchestra weirdness, but it's still in that like spacey metal clean
Yeah.
vibe, you know.
Yeah, no, definitely. And also I think it helps that because you have an overarching concept, a narrative, that
Mhm.
that means that it's kind of like, yeah, each song is a chapter in the book, and it's, you're going to go on a journey throughout that.
Yes, it is, Ryan.
Hey,
No, it's good age, bro.
hello, mate. You made it then.
Yeah,
Well,
we made
better
it.
late than never.
Good old
Which is
Yorkshire bushing. Yeah.
Yorkshire buses. Hey,
How's it
man.
going? No, you're right.
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just observing that nuclear assault poster behind you. To be fair, mate,
From the Leeds
pretty mental. That
warehouse.
was that only a fiver? Yeah,
God, yeah,
that was
yeah, it
five
was, yeah,
pounds at bottom. That's
yeah.
that's pretty sick. That
It's
Yeah,
mental, isn't it?
that's not.
It's
that is
mental.
mental.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. Sometimes I'm kind of like, are these somebody else's memories? From back then.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, we're on a
It's
different
like,
timeline now.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah. We're on another, we're in a parallel universe, aren't we? We're just on we're in a multiverse. That was a different one.
I think
Um,
so.
so
Yeah,
we've been.
go on. Yeah, what was the question?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Quick, let's get back on track. Well, no, it was more the fact that we're talking about the over having an overarching narrative, and the that kind of helps define the theme because of the because you have a concept and a narrative that helps define the theme and how the songs what you're trying to say. You're trying to communicate with the listener as opposed to some prog bands which where it can just be sometimes you kind of get the feeling that it's like, oh, this is a musical workout that they've just thrown in there.
Yeah, yeah. I guess sometimes it can maybe some bands it's just like a relentless, just randomness. But yeah, like the themes were I liken it to like the themes that John Williams puts together for like Star Wars. When Han Solo or Luke Skywalker enters the room, or Darth Sidious walks in, it plays their theme.
Yeah,
And it's played different scenes throughout the movies, throughout the whole saga. So I think that um, structural idea we take on board quite in like a major way, so that it does feel like a theme, and like the whole thing's then cohesive.
yeah, yeah. And you were on. I noticed you were on. Speaking of movies, you're on my good friend Paul's a year in horror podcast.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That was cool when that came through. It was like, oh, cool. I get to talk about movies rather than the band
Yeah,
again. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I did a Pitch Black
yes,
2000.
yeah. I've got it in my phone. I haven't listened to it yet, but uh, and I definitely think that's a route. You know, more of us have got to go down when we've got new releases coming out. Is you know your record label should be saying, well, what are the people in the band into other than music? Go on a fucking fishing podcast, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Because it's sometimes the best way to get people into your stuff is to appear somewhere where nobody expects you. They've never heard of you.
True, yeah. That's a good idea. That I might get Andy, who sings in Slime Lord, to go on a fishing podcast. I'm sure I'd be up for that.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be fucking brilliant. Yeah, I definitely don't want to do any fishing podcasts when the new Acid Rain album comes out. That's for sure. Um, but so how busy are you looking? I mean, you've got the album out. You did a show in London on last Saturday. How are things looking? What Metal Blade want from you?
it's good, man. We're just planning touring and like festivals and stuff. But I guess you know how it is these days when it comes to like booking stuff. It never seems easy, to be honest, H.
Yeah,
Especially like in the UK. I mean, we're trying to get like a tour together for like June time, and people are like, "Oh, that's too short notice," and I'm like, "Come on, man." Fair enough, but you know,
yeah,
so just hopefully just touring UK and Europe. We have got some things confirmed but unannounced, so we're pretty excited about those. But
awesome.
yeah, just this year, I guess with the record coming out like this time of year, it's kind of everything's always like booked up for summer, right?
Yeah,
With all the
yeah.
festivals and stuff. So yeah,
Well,
it's
yeah.
just
Look, we've had the same thing. It's timing. It's like, if you wanted to get on a 2026 festival, you needed to be having a conversation in 25.
that's it.
And in 25, where there was three of us, we had 10 songs, three. You can't commit to playing a festival and say, yeah, we'll have a new album out by then when you haven't even got a lineup.
Yeah, that was
So
it for us as well. Especially like I say, a year ago, it was like, well, we still had no new material out, and it was like we didn't have a release date. We weren't finished in the studio, so it was like, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, like it makes sense that no one would want to, take a chance. But it's all right. At least this year we've got Summer Dying Loud and some other festivals confirmed. So we'll do a little bit of the European festivals this year, hopefully.
yeah, yeah. And then 27, a lot more.
Yeah, I think that's the year when we'll be going
Same
out
here.
there and scoring properly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it gives
exactly,
us
man.
time to write the next album in the meantime.
Yeah, yeah, get that. Yeah, get that. Yeah, you could just be on a constant cycle then, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, that's
definitely.
cool, man. That's cool. It's any kind of any plans to get out to North America at all?
Well, we had plans to do Maryland Death Fest this year, but with visa situations, especially like recently, it's a little. Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to weigh that up very soon, but I don't
Yeah.
think it's likely gonna happen just because yeah, again the fees are ridiculous. So
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, it's well, world's a funny place right now.
yep,
I mean, I'd got friends of mine who live in Cyprus, and they were going to Dubai for the weekend, and yeah, exactly, to stay in a really nice hotel for the weekend. And yeah, luckily it wasn't the one that got bombed, but yeah, they didn't make it out there anyway. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, it's really fucking weird. I mean, we're looking at doing some shows in Europe this summer, which at the moment aren't anywhere near anything that's kicking off. But who knows by August? Fuck knows.
that's it, innit, man?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. We flew through like Qatar airport and Dubai just a couple of months ago on the Asian tour. So, it's a crazy worldwide hub. So many things are affected.
Yeah, I know. It's mad. It's mad. And the thing is, there's a real kind of like uncertainty, and there's nothing worse than uncertainty. If things are good, things are good, fine. People deal with it. If things are shit, they're shit. They deal with it. They prepare to get out of it. Things are uncertain. Nope, it's the worst of all worlds. Nobody knows what the fuck's going on. Um,
That's it, man.
yeah, yeah. But
The
speaking of
way out.
worlds, let's
Yeah.
let's get the fuck out of this depressing part of the conversation.
Oh,
Speaking of worlds, who's the brains behind creating the worlds and the narratives and everything that are involved with the music?
I guess I've got the weird sci-fi brain that pictures a lot of the weirdness here.
Right. Okay. So, I mean, obviously, there's a kind of like, well, you've already mentioned movies. You've done a movie podcast, so I suppose movies play a little bit in that. Um, is there, does there, or does it just all come from like, various places?
I think it's like I don't exactly know specifically why the like long song narrative thing has become a thing, but it's not necessarily like any sort of like preemptive kind of decision.
Yeah.
I think it's just come from the whole, like especially like kind of nowadays, it's like sure there's loads of bands out there, and even like being a band playing music, like writing songs, like what 5 minute songs, like traditional stuff. That's cool and all, but like at least for our interests as like musicians and stuff, I think just naturally the longer the songs became longer and longer. And then it's kind of now got to a point where it's kind of like a thing we do as a byproduct rather than
Yeah.
like, oh, cool, we're really passionate about writing these long songs. It's just kind of like, oh, we're gonna do a long song again, like Moonbelt, and it's like, all right, yeah, cool. It's not like oh yeah, we need to make sure we write long songs because we did it
Yeah.
before. or anything like that.
Yeah,
It's
and
kind of
it's
just
not like
like,
we listen to much music,
yeah, yeah,
much like
totally.
prog music with very long songs, like at all. I'll listen to super short songs if I like, but yeah,
Yeah,
the,
it's
the
like,
song just becomes what it is, and it just comes out like that. Really,
Yeah.
like
It's not
yeah,
premeditated. It's premeditated. It's somewhere you've ended up as a byproduct of just what you do.
yeah, totally. And like, especially when we, obviously like, the big look, Moonbelt Immolator being so long on the first record, that wasn't either that wasn't even like a, oh, let's try and write a long song. It was just like Xander just kept going, and we kept going, and then it was like, how long is it now? And it was like, what, 18 minutes? Whoa, crazy. And then it ended up being like, 23 or 25 minutes long. I can't remember how long it is now. But so even the process of getting to that point wasn't like a, oh, cool, yeah, we're gonna try and write this super big long epic. And now I guess when it comes to writing stuff, it's just more like, it feels like we're writing for Cryptic Shift rather than just being a band, if that
Yeah.
makes sense
Yeah.
in a
Yeah. No,
weird way.
absolutely.
Even though,
Absolutely.
even though, like, say if we did end up doing like a 3 minutes, like a shorter track, that would be fine because
Yeah.
there's no like, oh, it has to be this long stuff or it has to be this. It's just like,
yeah.
oh, cool,
The thing,
this is a follow up to the first album, so how can we follow up the first album? But we always
Yeah.
joke, like we're saying, like, oh, because album three, the next one, like Xander said earlier, we've already kind of got a bit of a head start writing it. But like album four, we're like, what do we do? Do we just try and do we
Yeah.
try and do something like creator, fucking extreme aggression, or do we just keep doing long stuff, or
You
do
do it.
we?
You
I don't
do.
know.
You do
Like
Rain in Blood. You do Rain in Blood, and you
that,
just
but
like
that's
knock
it.
out a load
Maybe,
of
maybe,
2 minute tunes.
maybe.
Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
We don't know. So yeah, it's kind of cool because I guess when we get round to it, we'll be like, all right, what should we do then? All right, let's do that.
yeah.
I'm just
Once you
thinking.
start writing a song, I think you know you spend a little writing the song. You've got some ideas and the riffs, and then at some point, pretty early on, it's like, oh, the song has an identity, it has some sort of soul, and then from then on,
Yeah.
I don't think you really have much control over what it becomes.
Yeah.
You just guide it down its own path.
Yeah. Look, having just got done with writing an album, I couldn't agree more. It's just organically, you just like, you know, where do we go now? How does it like? How does it feel? Because we would musically get a bit up, and then I would have some vocal ideas and some lyrical ideas, and I jump on it and do those, which gives you more of a feel as to like, right, okay, that kind of gives it a feel and a theme. Where does it feel like it should go next? And you're just in that process of where does it feel like it should go next? What are we gonna, what's next? And at some point, it's the ending. At no point do you sort of turn around and go, yeah, we should be knocking this on the head now. Yeah, it's like it just appears out of nowhere because, as you said there, I'm going to out cheese you here. When we're working on stuff, it's like the most important member of the band is the song. You know,
Yep, he's in the room with us right now.
absolutely. It's cheesy as fuck, but it's like it is. It's how do you serve the song? What can you do best for the song? That's it. And if it's like, oh, I think we should take this bit out, oh, but that's my favorite bit, you know, shame,
There you
but away
go.
it goes.
That's it.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, as you said, you kind of just ride the wave, don't you?
Yeah, yeah, it's yeah, man,
Yeah.
gonna be a roller coaster.
Yeah. Yes. And when you were talking there, I was thinking I can just imagine being your manager and getting you some like really good like support slots, and you've got like 30, 35 minutes, and you're like, yeah, it's one song in it. you know, it's
That is
like,
entirely possible.
yeah, yeah. There's an element there where you're just like, yeah, okay, right. How the fuck do you pull that off?
Yeah, well, we're just gonna do it, man. We've got three songs on the album that are like about 10 minutes, so that's like a nice 30-minute slot. Or if you have 35 minutes, then we've also got a couple of tracks that are like 4 or 5 minutes. So
Yeah,
we can always work it out.
yeah. You can adapt. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Um, Now we were talking earlier about like how we, how this album came to pass and all the rest of it. But I'm interested to see what you said about sort of 2016, 2017 when you said it started taking the band seriously. So how did the band first start? Like, and was it just playing covers or, what was that very, very beginning like?
Well, honestly, from my perspective, it's like I was playing in another thrash metal band at the time called Obliterator, and that was just like my true like infancy band. Like we played, I mean, I played a gig in Leeds like instead of going to prom night and stuff like that when I was in high school. So
Nice.
like that was kind of my thing. Um, and like Xander played in the band Cryptic at the time, but there was a couple of different members and stuff, and that was kind of the similar deal, like where everyone's just teenagers from Leeds, you know. Um, and Xander and I ended up playing just because I think Xander needed a drummer at some point, and then that was it, you know. I think on the first practice we were like jamming like Megadeth and like Pantera and stuff, from what I remember. Um,
Yeah, it was a pretty quick bond. Like, I mean,
I like,
we're really
yeah,
like Ryan said, "Oh yeah, I can play Becoming by Pantera." I was like, "All right, cool, you're in." And then yeah, it was a quick
Yeah.
bond between like sci-fi stuff, like thrash stuff, Megadeth, Sepultura.
yeah. I
I
think
love that when you said like, all right, yeah, you're in. It's like I know that feeling. Like it's like it is kind of instant when you hook up like that. It's instant as much as it's instant. Where I don't know if you've ever been in this position. I know I have been, where you get you get like 4 or 5 bars into a song, and you're like, you're not the guy. Um, and now I'm stuck with you in a fucking room for 2 hours.
yeah,
Yeah,
we've
I've had that before.
definitely jammed with people and had that experience.
Yeah,
But
and it's just horrible.
yeah, I was just gonna catch us up to present day, but like regarding taking things seriously, that was just more like Xander and I had like write stuff, and it like got to the point where, especially in the band at the time, it's like evident like who's in the band to kind of just be in a band, and then who's in a band to like be a musician, right?
Just because
And
it's a hobby
yeah,
doesn't
that
mean you. Just because it's a hobby doesn't mean you can't treat it like a profession.
That's it, man.
Indeed.
And I think like that's when we started to realize that stuff, and that's when stuff like that started to piss us off. So, you know,
Yeah,
from that point on, it was just a process of natural kind of like member refinement, where say the guys in the band were fine, but then when they'd leave, it was like rather than a detriment, it was kind of an opportunity to get someone better, if that makes sense. You
yeah, no,
know, so it's
absolutely.
like with the
Natural
lineup we're at
selection.
now, with the lineup we're at now, it's kind of like in our eyes from our generation, it's like, oh, cool. So when John joined, it was like, all right, this is the best fitting and like best like musician for the job that we know. And
Yeah,
John was playing in another thrash band, Exiled, at the time, so it was one of those. It was like, oh, cool, we know each other from playing gigs together, and also, you have that like, like that, like adoration of seeing someone live and becoming friends with him and being like, oh, this guy's really good, and then obviously the opportunity comes, and then he joins the band, and then it's
yeah,
the same with Joss. Obviously, that was years down the line, but even then, it was like we looked up to Separation when they were like in their like heyday, like in 10 years ago or something like that. And yeah, so when Josh joined, it was another one like, oh, cool, this is definitely like the best guy for to be the guitarist in this band, you know.
yeah,
So pretty sweet, really. So it worked out that way.
Yeah, and another thing with when you mentioned taking it seriously around like 10 years ago, the idea of we came across the idea of in putting together Beyond the Celestial Realms, that EP from 2016, came across the idea of it being a product, which it is. It's a product at the end of the day.
yeah,
And you have to have a good product to sell to the audience. And taking that approach, I think was a really important like realization.
Like rather than say having like an EP come out and it's just like some basic ass artwork that doesn't have any kind of relation, and it'll do. And even like if even when the band's got like a bad logo, that kind of puts me off a little bit. You know,
Yeah,
it's just like, why would you not want a really cool logo? Like, fair enough, but
yeah,
maybe that's just me being a bit of a snob about what makes a good logo. But stuff like that is definitely like where it all started to tie together, like that level of maturity, like, oh, cool. So if everything kind of makes sense. And
yeah,
I think through working on that is how we kind of got to the concept in a way anyway, you know?
yeah.
It's kind of like
I
how do we kind of try and make the band unique,
yeah, and
and
it's the
have
Oh,
its
yeah.
have its
details.
own thing, right?
Yeah, it's the attention to detail as well. I mean, we recently did an anniversary t-shirt for the Obnoxious album in pink. And I made sure that we got pink postbacks to send them out in. Now,
Yeah,
it's a tiny detail. It's a tiny detail. But I want people to know as soon as that fucker lands through the letterbox, they know what it is immediately. And it just makes you feel better about spending that money. Like, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
totally, man.
I know. And it's about having, like you said, the product. I was talking to our live agent the other day. I sent him an inquiry from, yeah, from someone about us playing live. And I said to him, if there's one thing that pisses me off, it's self-righteous amateurs. Oh yeah, we're like, we're independent promoters, and it's like, yeah, and you've sent an email that says, do you want to play? What? Where? When? How
Yeah, right.
much?
Yeah,
What's the like? The very nature of make us a fucking offer. Yeah,
Yeah.
like at least give us a fucking month or something, you know.
yeah, right, right.
There's you can be in this industry for a very long time and learn nothing, or you can
Indeed.
keep learning, watch how other people do it, take a bit from there, take a bit from there. I mean, our live agent, we're the biggest band on the agency. We had plenty of bigger agents to go with, and they were all like, "Oh yeah, yeah, Acid Rain, yeah, yeah, be good to get you on the roster." This guy was like climbing all over us, like, you know, I can attach my brand to yours, I can build my business, but I was like, I want him. I
Yeah,
want the
exactly
guy.
right.
I want the guy who is fucking enthusiastic about getting us and booking us, because that enthusiasm is going to go on the phone, and that is going to translate all the way down the line to bookers and everybody else. As opposed to someone ringing up and going, right, well, I've got these bands for you.
Yeah, I remember like years ago we'd like scramble and like harass people and really like try and make things happen for ourselves. And yeah, you've kind of got to be come across as that. And so at this point, if you recognize someone's doing that towards you, then it is important to recognize like, oh, this something important here. There's someone's really passionate.
Yeah, yeah, and that's enthusiasm sells. If people are enthusiastic about about what you do, about whether it's your merch, your booker, your label, whatever. As enthusiasm counts. It really, really does, especially in an industry, where people can fall into that trap of just churning it out. And yeah, I was just yeah, just that thing you said about like realizing it's a product that is so important, and but I think it's kind of easily done because you just think what what would I buy? What would I think? Oh, that's really cool.
Man, I think it just comes down to like having pride in what you do, man. Because you probably know this as well. Like, when you meet guys in a band and they're cool and they're like, "Oh, my band's good, but hey, we're not as good as yours though. We're shit compared to you, or whatever." It's like you're not that bad, bro. Like, come on, you're all right. You're not shit. Like, I've seen worse, fuck. But it's just
Yeah,
like, what, you really think you're shit? I don't know
Yes,
about
it's
that.
just the worst. It
It's
just
just one of those,
guarantees that
right?
I'm not going to check it out.
yeah, absolutely,
But I
absolutely.
think it comes from the pride, right? Like just having, the pride in having a good logo in your own music, pride in like if if I was in a band and I thought I was shit, I'd be like, well, why am I shit and how do I fix this?
Yes. Yeah.
The pride, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, cool, we can. It's like it always gets me when people are like, oh, you guys are doing well, as if like
It just
like
fell out the
we know
sky.
some secret trick,
Yeah.
and it's just like, well, we put the work in, bro. Like it's kind of a
Yeah.
little bit like weird to me when it almost seems like it's like when we got announced for Maryland Death Fest, some people were like, whoa, how did you manage that? It's like, how do you think? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
worked hard, worked hard, man.
A
Like
10-year overnight
Yeah.
success.
yeah, like it's just a bit like, well, we worked hard, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I had somebody once say to me about my stand-up, "Oh, you're lucky. You see, you've got a hobby that pays." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, lucky. Yeah, 20
Yeah,
years, 20 years of grafts. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm lucky. I get paid. Or is it taking 20 years? You know, am I good enough to get paid? And I'm good enough because I've put in the fucking work.
That's it, innit?
And that there's no way around it. Everybody everybody wants to take the elevator. Nobody wants to take the stairs.
That's it, man.
You know,
You know,
and
it took a long time to get you. And like,
yeah,
Yeah, it's a lot of people, I think, put out music and they think just because they've created it, they've just come out with it. It's like, oh, that's great, it's awesome. And yeah, it is cool to create your own music, like especially like as you're starting a band. But there's a point where you have to realize, oh yeah, just because I just shut this out, it doesn't mean that it's a product yet.
yeah,
yeah. Well, just go on to Spotify every Friday and look at metal releases that day, and just
No, yeah,
scroll and just fucking scroll through and scroll through and scroll through. After a while, you know what the band's going to sound like just by the song title.
yeah.
I mean, there is so much of it out there, you know, and
Oh,
that is the
it's like going to a record store and like searching for like old school thrash stuff, and you might pick some out, and you're like, "Oh, this looks good. Front cover's good, nice logo." You turn it around, and you see the song titles, and it's like, "Oh, it's a glam band. It's not thrash. They've got like Love You Tonight." You know, it's like, "Oh, it's definitely not aggressive thrash."
well, but also interesting that you mentioned that as well. There's a lot about, and maybe it's because I'm a lyricist myself, but lyrics make a hell of a fucking difference. You know, there's some albums I've got recently where I'm like, yeah. In fact, you know, the Last Testament album, I really like it. I really rate it, but I have to try and just turn my ears off. You know, with some of the lyrics, which is just like, and and I think you know I remember someone saying, "Oh, I'm not really bothered about the words," and it's like, really, because publishing is paid to songwriters 50% on the music, 50% on the lyrics. So you are officially missing out on half of what's going on. That's you know a song, you know, is music helping express what the words are. You know, it all
Yeah, and
mixes
even if
together.
it's just guttural death metal gibberish, I mean, there's still some words in there.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And even if it is just like, even if it's fucking Cannibal Corpse, you know, fucking Come in Blood, whatever. There is still a story in there. There is still, you know, a reason for that song sounding like, you know, it's just come out of the mouth of hell. And it's all tied together. Um, and yeah, I just think it's just something that people really forget about, you know. Um, but and you know, sometimes you see a lyric video and you think, oh, this song's really cool, and then like you know, you see the lyric video and you're like, oh god, I hadn't actually paid attention to how shit these lyrics are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man,
Yeah.
terrible. Well, so it's interesting. You mentioned earlier about like, oh, people saw you doing Maryland Death Fest. So, what's the local reaction like? Because we're obviously, you know, I'm from Yorkshire. I've been through what you guys have been through, and I found that some people were really pleased, really happy. Some people would say they were really pleased and really happy for you, whilst also being envious and And some were happy enough to say that to my face, and others would say they were really happy for you, and then go off and slag you off. How's all the how's the
Yeah.
community taking it?
I think it's all right age, man. We've kind of, especially in Leeds, we don't know too many people, man. Like I don't, it is what it is, man. Like so but it seems that like all of our like friends are still like pretty interested and stuff. But
That's spot on. We were exact. I know this is like fucking the beginning of time ago, but we were exactly the same. It's because there was no live scene where we recorded an album before we played our first fucking gig. There was no so when you were saying about people being in a band, all we did was write songs and then
yeah,
rinse and repeat because there were no gigs, there was no scene, so it filtered out anybody who just wanted to be in a band because we didn't play any gigs.
that's it, man.
Yeah.
So
That's how
so
it, that's how it, that's how it is for us as well. Like I don't think we haven't played many shows. That show we did in London was like the first show in like a few years before the Asia tour. Like especially in the UK, it was like probably the first show in like what, 3 years or
Since
something like
since like September 24, and then we only did one other one in 24 in London. So yeah, it's wild.
that. Yeah, but yeah, I mean the lead scene's good. But for the most part, it seems to be all right, man. Like I don't really ever we haven't changed as people, so when it's always funny to me when people act like we have,
yeah, there is
because
that.
it's
There's
always
that
like,
one.
what
Yeah,
what the fuck's your problem, bro? Like what like what?
yeah,
Yeah, it's strange, right?
yeah. It's like you can walk through town, and before the album comes out, before the deal is signed, you walk through town. Someone goes, "Oi!" and you don't hear them, and you carry on walking, and they go, "Oh, I didn't hear me." And then the
Yeah,
labels, the deal signed, the album's out, and you walk through town, they go, "Oi!" and you don't hear them, and they go, "Big-headed bastard,
that's it. Yeah,
don't want to know
that's it,
me."
man. That's it, man.
And it's like, nah, that sounds like a you problem.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I know. But that's because the thing is, it is the purest form of being in a band. Is just working on music all the time, working on new stuff all the time. Refining what you do.
That's it, man.
Yeah, I mean that's what we did for the last 3 or 4 years. So it is exciting to get back to playing shows
Yeah,
and then start to refine that element.
yeah, yeah. Because I mean, it is. You know, the album is the payoff of all that work that you've put into it and everything else. But of course, it's kind of pointless if you aren't like right behind it and playing lots of shows and getting it out there and letting everybody know that the product is available.
That's it, man.
Yeah, we're all t-shirt sellers. We just put the new album out, and that enables us to go out and sell our new collection.
Yep, that is what being in a band is truly about.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. Um, by the way, that album package, the vinyl, is absolutely fucking gorgeous.
Yeah,
Like,
man, it's super cool. Have you seen the gatefold inside?
yes, yes, the uh, the
We're all
the
in the
the Spinal
you. Oh, yeah, I think you
Tap-esque
commented spinal. Yeah,
gatefold.
you commented on it. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 That's like, yeah. You probably were hoping I wasn't going to say that again. Um, quite rightly. No, it's awesome. But it's again, it's about the package and the theme and everything being tied together. It's like you open that gatefold up and you go, oh, of course. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That makes sense. You know, as
yeah,
a,
man. There's so many elements. It is a lot of work. Like, yeah, you put together a song, but there is so much more to do on top.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had a chat with your producer when I saw you on Saturday. And
Oh, Jack, yeah,
yeah, yeah. And it was interesting because I was saying to him, like, there's a lot of unique choices on the album and a lot of, effects and this and that. And I was like, so was that, was that you? Was that them? Was that you trying to steer them somewhere? What was, how did that work? And he just said, look, with these guys, they brought all of the ideas. My job was to help them realize their vision. That's it. Again, we're back to it. Sounds like movie director, doesn't it? It's like, helping, everybody just helping to realize the vision. Whereas, of course, sometimes a band comes in and it's a case of, all right, okay, these guys like have got songs, but they've just got no idea what the overall package is going to be, what they want to do. It's basic. Whereas, yeah, when it was like, when these guys came in and just, it was clear that it was just a case of delivering that vision. What was that like working kind of like, in partnership?
Yeah, I mean, we've worked with Jack for 10 years basically. So it's at
Oh,
the
right.
same
Okay.
time
I
as
didn't know that.
he's like a great friend of ours, so we can hang out and it's super cool. But yeah, like he was saying, at the same time, he knows what it's about, and yeah, it's same with anyone. Like it's kind of like a building the team around the band and giving everyone like a role that um like we were saying earlier, like the enthusiasm and the like the knowledge behind it, like cultivating that enthusiasm that someone has for like the one role that they do. And yeah, Jack just lets us do anything essentially, and if we've got an idea, we'll worm our way around on how to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it kind of shows as well. Was there any sort of suggestions from the label about maybe throwing up a few other producers, people you could work with, or have they just kind of left you to it?
No, they left us to it, to be honest, which is great. I mean, they had a lot of trust because obviously they were big fans of the first few records. So, it's kind of, they just, yeah, just let us get on with it, really.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's it. Yeah, yeah, totally. Like,
Cool.
and we're pretty fortunate of that as well because we did take a long, they were very patient with us, right? So, that's awesome because we definitely needed the patience, you know.
So, and when you say they were patient with you, how long did they have to be patient with you for?
It was like 5 years from signing the deal to like delivering the album and stuff.
Oh
And
man,
towards the end of that, they were, you could tell that they were getting to the end of the tether, really. But it was like kind of, it was good because it was like, no, trust, we need 2 more months before we can go and record, please. Like, just really like. But
how
I
long were
guess it
you?
worked out in the end. So,
How long were you in the
Once we
studio
started
for?
recording, oh yeah, yeah, we started recording about exactly 1 year ago. And
Right.
once we were in the studio, all that was rolling. We were like finished by the summer, and then it was like, yeah, do finalize the layouts, get it mastered, do the music video, plan the vinyl variants. So from then it was all just rolling, and it was like, oh yeah, we're back on track.
Yeah. Yeah. Ah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Very, very cool. Very cool. Um, and are you dealing with the North American office?
no, we work with the European offices for Metal Blade. So, whatever needs to go on goes on internally. But our representative is someone in Europe.
Right. Okay. And was it the European office that signed you?
Yeah, yeah, which is pretty sweet. You know.
Cool. So who's there now? Because once upon a time I used to know people at Metal Blade.
Well, obviously, I only really know like our rep Andreas and Andy Turner. Really, those are the only two I know. Like, we've interacted with a few other people, but as for knowing them personally, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Andy's a legend.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. The instigators and all that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, way back.
I know there's something really cool about, having that guy as part of the team.
Yeah, when we first met him, he came out to a show that we were playing in. I think we were playing was playing Nambuka a couple of years ago, and it was like, oh, someone from Metal Blade's coming down, and it was Andy, and yeah, it was well good. Another Yorkshireman, so yeah, it was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. And you've just reminded me as well. You were mentioning last week about having some bits of Yorkshire lore in the lyrics and stuff. So how did
Yeah, yeah,
how
there's
did
all sorts.
Yeah, how did you incorporate all that? What kind of stuff's in there?
Well, like the cult being from like Leeds, Bradford area, there's a couple of like lyric references to the cult. Um, Alan Holdsworth is a big inspiration as well, been from
Yeah.
around Bradford. So yeah, there's all sorts of like tiny little things sprinkled around, which is it's it feels good to like sprinkle that in. And yeah, I feel that like growing up and like being becoming more mature, it's like feels more natural to like put that in and feel like, oh yeah, we're from Yorkshire, and it's like
Yeah.
something that you can like stand behind.
Yeah, because like for the biggest county, there's a kind of surprisingly few sort of metal bands seem to have come from Yorkshire in the end. I mean, Def Leppard, if they even count as metal now, but once upon a time. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
remember
like
my granddad, my grandma and granddad used to run a pub in Selby, and I remember when I was a bit younger, when I was like starting to get into metal, that and he realized he used to tell me like, oh, the old drummer of Def Leppard used to come drink in the Black Swan in Selby, and I was like, all right, cool.
cool, man. Oh, that's awesome. I mean, it's Saxon, Barnsley,
Of course, yeah.
but that's about it.
Hmm.
It's kind of weird. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's well, we're coming back to Boom soon. I'm really looking forward to that.
Oh, sick.
So try and come down if you can. Get in touch, put you on the
Absolutely,
list.
absolutely, man. When is that again? That's how it get announced for your
Um,
latest
uh,
record, right?
yeah. Funnily enough, I think I put it on. I've just pushed it today, and it is Thursday 25th
All right, awesome. Yeah, yeah, for
of
sure.
June.
Oh, this month,
That's
oh,
it.
Of
Yeah,
June.
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 All right. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we should be around. I think we're doing some touring in June, but I think we'll be around the back end.
I wish I'd known. We could have hooked all of this up. We could have done.
For sure.
You know, we could have been all over the place. But well, look, guys, we did it. We finally fucking did it. I really appreciate it. It's taken, yeah, third time lucky. Really appreciate it. And once again, I will have already been like, raving about the album, but congratulations. Yeah, it sounds like 5 years work. It really does. It sounds like the culmination of real hard work and yeah, one of the most creative things I've heard in a long, long time.
Awesome, man. Yeah, thank
Brilliant,
you.
man. Thank you very
It's
much.
been good to do a more of a podcast rather than these like rigid questions. So yeah, it's good hanging out.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's always good. Like, you know, why did you choose that producer? What studio? What's your favorite song on the album, etc. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's like being on a fucking
Yeah,
treadmill, isn't
we get the how did you write such a long song? And it's like, well, there's a lot to unpack there. So
it?
I've
Yeah,
come up with something on top of my head.
yeah. Brilliant, brilliant. All right, guys. Look, absolute pleasure. Thank you once again, and yeah, hopefully see you in Leeds in June.
Oh yeah, see you soon.
Yeah, man.
And
All right,
Thank you.
yeah, talk
chaps.
to you soon.
Take care. Good luck.
In a bit, man. Thank you.
Cheers. Bye bye.